Peace be upon you. Uktula. Shalom. Salam alaikum. Kurula. Mraro. Khotong. Khoto. That is a lot of languages, all basically meaning one thing. May peace reign in your life. If you're listening to this, may peace reign on our land, Africa. May peace, more importantly, reign on earth. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Let My People Go. My name is Mvangeli Nzuza, and for a second there, I sounded like James Earl Jones, a legend. Love him. Today is the 12th of October, 2022. Important day because it's my mother's birthday, so happy birthday, Ma. She's one of my role models amongst many. My dad, my ancestors, ancestors in the sense of lineage, not a medium that communicates through me, but those are my role models. Dave Chappelle, Bob Mapena, Kanye West. So very important day today. And in fact, I'll be touching on one of my role models a bit later. Firstly, let me say this. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. You make this worthwhile. You make me look forward to recording these and having these conversations with you, because I don't just broadcast and then it goes into the world and then that's it. We do have engagements and conversations around these in person, on the streets, as well as, on social media platforms. For now, of course, available only on YouTube. Not a lot of chatting happening there, but I tend to share a lot of the links with people close to me at this point in time on social media, my social media, and on WhatsApp. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for choosing to invest your time, energy, and resources. There's a lot of things competing for our time, competing for our energy, competing for our resources. So if you are, putting this, in fact, that is a recipe for success. If you invest your time, energy, and resources wisely, you become successful. That's my definition of success. A person who knows how to invest, especially these three commodities. In fact, I saw a quote. I was in grade 9. This was my history teacher's class, and he usually had these quotes on the wall. And the quote for success was, the ability to cope with current reality. I've seen no better definition. And there was another quote in his class, Mr. Mtombeni. It was the definition of a champion, and it said, a champion is a person who gets up when they can't. So if you're listening to this, you're a champion and you're successful because you are investing wisely. This gives me life as well. So thank you. So let's get straight into it. Black Lives Matter. Now, of course, that is a movement that started in the year 2013, July 2013. In February 2012, a certain young man, 17 years old, Trayvon Martin, was gunned down by a George Zimmerman. This is in the United States of America. And of course, then, a lot of black people started zooming into the social injustice that already exists in the land of the free and the brave. So, of course, BLM, that's the abbreviation. They are basically a decentralized political and social movement, and they seek to highlight racism, discrimination, as well as racial inequality experienced by black people in America. Now, as blacks in South Africa and in Africa, we've adopted and we've become, I don't like the word allies, because there's context that's being used, these days. But we've become one, brothers and sisters in arms with this movement, because during apartheid as well here in South Africa, we had people on the continent who assisted us to get our freedom, as well as outside the continent. So it's a similar sentiment because we understand what they are going through. Now, what makes even matters worse for us black people outside of the United States of America is that some of us have never been to America. But besides understanding what they're going through, we believe them. We believe them. It's like someone, a woman comes, or even a man coming to you and saying they've been raped. You're not going to be like, what do you mean? You need to believe that person, because this is my experience. I'm telling you what happened to me, so you need to listen to me. So that's what it is. So we need to reach a collective consciousness. At some point it will happen, but it won't just happen, boom, overnight. First, we need to reach a personal level of consciousness. The first time I won't say really reached, the first time I reached consciousness was the first time I became aware. It has always happened, but the first time it hit me big. I became aware of what a vision is, And I was sitting, it's crazy. The time was exactly 16:52. So it was 8 minutes to 5. Now, 16:52 is a very important date in the history of South Africa because that's when Jan van Riebeck and his people, I almost say cronies, but his friends, they landed here and colonized the country over centuries till today, right? So it was exactly 16:52. I looked at the watch and immediately I go into a trance. Now, I go into a trance. I'm captaining this huge ship. It's a boat. It's huge. It's probably got like hundreds of thousands of people inside. There's so many decks on it. I'm on the top deck, and there's that wheel. If you've watched Titanic, who is it? Jack? Yeah, Jack. Why do all the boats have Jack? Because Pirates of the Caribbean, there's also Jack Sparrow. But anyway, story for another day. So I'm captaining the ship, and I can hear, and there's these hundreds and thousands of black people, only black people. It seems like we are leaving Europe or America, but it's burning. Behind me, it's burning. There's fire, there's fighter jets. It's crazy. And we are just moving in this boat. And I'm captaining the ship, and at some point I go, Jack from the Titanic. So just imagine the Titanic, but now it's wooden and it doesn't have any electronics. It's just got those traditional sails that use wind. But it's 2020 because this was in 2020. But yeah, let's say it's 2022. And I go up there like Jack in the Titanic, and I spread my not my wings but my arms because I could feel freedom. And these songs that these blacks from America, from the United Kingdom, they were not from Africa, but they were coming home. We were singing the same song, and part of my convoy was my family, my friends, and we were bringing them back home. My life changed from that moment on, and I reached a level of consciousness, but I've never spoken about this experience until today. And it's only over 2 years after this experience that I had with God, because it was God telling me to get my people. These are my people. And when I see them being killed, being racially profiled, it hurts me because, well, here in South Africa, I've never experienced racism. The only form of racism we experience in this country is economical racism, economic exclusion, and land theft. They speak about amazamazama, which is illegal mining. Illegal mining started, over 120, 50 years ago, when gold was discovered in Gauteng, which means the city of gold, where I live, by the way. And I live in one of the first banks that was created on this continent, one of the first banks in Marshalltown, Standard Bank building. That's where I live, formerly known as, and there's something very iconic and something very important about me experiencing this vision at that very same place, because there's something demonic. We need to call it demon a demon. There's something demonic about racism. How do you hate someone based on the color of their skin? How do you steal and not give back? I remember Julius Malema. He might still have been the youth leader of the African National Congress at that time. And he was speaking about land expropriation without compensation. And he says, so you're telling me for me to get my land back, I must pay. And then he makes an example. He says, this was crazy, but it's dope. He says, if I drive a BMW and I stay in Soweto, and this car is stolen in Soweto, next thing my car is found a few days later in Sandton. But when it's found in Sandton, the richest square mile in Africa, by the way, it's now got leather seats. It's been reupholstered. It's got expensive mags. The suspension is just, they've done some great body work with the painting. They've put in a beautiful, expensive sound system, Are you telling me, and I'm quoting him here verbatim, are you telling me to get my car back, I must pay you? I've always asked the question, is it possible to have a revolution without blood? It pains me that 95% of the time I ask this question in my circle, the answer is always no. I'm a sellout, I guess, because I'm that 5% that had a vision of black people coming back home and rejoicing, singing these songs of freedom. Singing these songs of freedom. Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe was on Robben Island. He was not with the other prisoners, the Jacob Zumas, the Oliver Tambos, the Nelson Mandelas. He was not with those characters or with those freedom fighters. He was not with those freedom fighters. Those were freedom fighters whom we salute till today for what they did. Robert Sobukwe was considered the most dangerous man, the most dangerous man in Africa. That's why they could not put him in prison with the other freedom fighters, because he would have influenced them. He had one principle. He asked a question: how did white people come to Africa? Because they came here and we offered them. This was actually a pit stop. You know, if you've watched Formula One, South Africa was a pit stop where they just get refreshments. We talk, hey, how's the trip? You good? Yo, have some berries, have some fruit. Here's some lotion for your ashy elbows and your cracked your cracked heels. We were nice to each other. And then at some point, jealousy. There's a Zulu saying that goes, umona uqale esweni. Loosely translated, jealousy starts in the eye. Once you start to see something, that's where jealousy starts. A blind man can't be jealous of anything. That's why there's, in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not covet your neighbor's wife. It means don't want something that belongs to someone. Whether it's their wife, their property, their land, their children, their talent. Don't envy what someone has, because it will lead you to kill them. And once you've killed them, like Cain and Abel, now you must go bury the blood. You must hide. You must lie. You must cheat. You must steal to cover up this lie. Black Lives Matter is an important movement. Kanye West is my role model. And this whole white lives matter narrative is just trying to discredit. And it's not him. I don't blame him. He will never stop being my role model. I don't blame him. Ye will never stop being my role model. Apologies for I keep calling him Kanye Ukanye. We will get there. Ye. Last time he said slavery was a choice. I personally feel he must stay off those topics. Just anything has got to do, because I think you start speaking from a point of privilege. There's a certain amount of money that you get on this earth. Once you reach that level of money, you become a god. That's why he's got a song, I Am a God. You literally become a god. And who has been playing God for the past 400 years? Our time has come. Our time is here. May God be with us. May God bless Africa. May God bless all of her people all over the world. It's time to come home.
Words do not build, do not break, do not anger. Words do not love. People love. Words do not forget, do not betray, cannot mask us or hide us from ourselves. And without arms, words do not protect, do not agree. And being just words, they do not shoot. I hate words. They are words of truth. They are not the truth. They are not even lies. They are just words without land. Tsetshwayo was not a man of words, nor was Makado. In fact, Mushweshwe could not even speak. And yet, it was with words that Azania was married with looters in community of no property. And like Aungel, Umupu Mandela. Ulo wasolo the west wela netabla pekanda orulo smala ngamasheta tatazelayo othanda ikhona phethu amaqaqa othanda ama born free into poverty othanda ondlebe zikanye igazi leAfrika umubi kawo awusekho uxolile side lakho mina ngaqoli ngisabambela yasemandulo angeke ngilale nesithi endlini angeke ngihlekane sekaliphethe ngokwami ngixolela abantu abangaxolisanga mina ngihlanye akunandaba nepeace mina ipeace ikawulayitha ugesi ulayithwa Eskom makathanda anginandaba ne-food security mina ngilambe kumanje usiyakolisi vele ngiyamfrostana but I cannot spring a bog mina I cannot die inside a square I cannot kiss a boa or toy and dance to the same song I do not want to white anymore I do not want to shosholoza anymore or constitutionally prostitute my birthright for Hong Kong rainbows with no whites just wilting black rays across a sky of stolen treasures. I do not want to white anymore. I do not want to blood-based empowerment anymore. I do not want to tender or plead on behalf of thieves to repent over step wounds, to dig treasures while singing your song of a piece of poverty amidst the rhythm of barricada bullets dancing inside my skull in a country about a movie built on magic. I do not want to white anymore. I do not want to rainbow without bread. I do not want to hate Cecil and Anthem with his children, to shoot off Mayor and dance to Mikasa, to burn sparrows and mourn the deaths of clerks, to hate Eugene and thank Slovo, to joke and beg, to smile at my killer, to forgive while bleeding. I do not want to Musi and Malima anymore, or reconcile from Israel between coffins, to chop for your song, to slave for your fund, your shirt, your dance, your cop captain smile, your promise, your Madiba magic. I've buried it with the bones of my brothers in a shallow grave under the sweltering heat of the southern Maracana sky, because words do not break chains, Tata. I do not want you South Africa anymore. I want you Azania of no words, of death, of birth, unlearning white poison, white demons drowning in the Atlantic, Azania of exploding colonial bondages, Azania of no words, of no prayer, of no fist in the air anymore, Azania of beaming black smiles, Azania of beaming black bullets, black, beautiful, and borderless. I do not want white anymore.
Africa beseli indlela sikhulule nisiyabe sekukude emakhaya Africa beseli indlela sikhulule nisiyabe sekukude emakhaya sekukude phakamazanya ayishonile sekukude emakhaya sekukude ngempela sekukude